Do you want to start, Auntie Anne?
Sure. My name is Anne Majay Rader. I'm Kaska Dene on unceded Kaska territory. I'm of the Wolf clan. And this is so exciting. Thank you, Amanda, for setting this up. This is new. Like Zoom is just something new. Never heard of it before. Now everybody has heard about it. Everybody's connecting. So thank you. Yeah.
Awesome. Katelyn, do you want to introduce you and Lydia?
Yeah, I'm Katelyn Porter, and I'm Kaska Dene as well. Anne is like one of my favorite aunties.
Oh,
And
my day.
this is my daughter Natalie. She's an advocate in training.
Yes.
As so am I, and she's the youngest on the team.
Hi, Natalie.
Say
Hi, baby.
Bye.
Bye.
And she's done.
Yeah.
Cute. How about you, Jodi?
Well, it's a dignitaries for years.
Oh, Auntie Leda, she's in.
Yes,
Yeah.
we're in. We got locked. Everything went blank, and then I had to get password or.
Do you want to say who you are?
Well, Jodi I think Jodi was introducing herself. Do you want to, Jodi? Hey, Jodi. Did we lose you?
I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm Jodi from Watson Lake. I'm also Kaska Dene. I am from Pro Clan. And yeah, I'm an advocate in training. I really enjoy what I'm doing. Yeah, it's good to be here. Always nice to see new faces. And yeah, I hope we enjoy our tea time. So,
Okay.
Karla.
Unmuted, they can hear.
Oh, you're going to introduce yourself, Colleen and Leda?
Like, what do you want us to say?
Manda. See, do Zina. There you go, Ninda.
My name is Colleen Caesar. From the Liard First Nation, Kaska Dene from the Wolf clan. That's all I have to say. Well, I don't know what else to say. Okay, Leda's turn. Leda.
I'm Leda Jules. I'm Kaska Dene. Really, Kaska, really. I don't know. I just like to call myself Dene. I'm a Dene woman. Coming from a long line of Dene women. I'm Zioni Dene. Following my grandmother, my grandfather, my grandmother, my mother, my great-grandmother. And grandmother and a great-grandmother. So I have 12 grandchildren. I have 7 great-grandchildren. So I'm pretty happy with my little crew. I have a wonderful husband. We do everything together. We live on the land. We live at Francis Lake every summer and raise up our kids on the land. The land is very important to the both of us. Karla. So I'm glad to meet all of you. Most of you know who I am.
Excuse me, I have an appointment, but I'll be right back.
Okay.
I have an appointment with Leona from, what's that? Victim Service.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll be right back as soon as I
Ah,
possible. Yeah. Hola.
Thank you. Charlene, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, everyone. It's the Charlene Megan Guya. I'm from the Crow clan, and my parents is Kathy and Frank Megan, and my grandparents is Francis and Liza Megan, and Olson and Annie Wolftail. So I'm introducing myself traditionally. And I also work with Anne. So
Amazing.
thanks for being here today with you all. Sugasinla Kula.
Is Karla still on?
yeah.
Karla, you want to say some words? Oh, she's hiding.
Yeah.
All right, Shelly.
Hi. Thank you to everyone for being here. My name is Shelly Dean, formerly Shelly Bonna, and I'm with the Center for Response-Based Practice, and I have the extreme honor of working with Anne and the Kaska women and some men, and have been in relationship with Liard Aboriginal Women's Society for a number of years now. So thank you for being here. Looking forward to today.
Thanks, Shelly. How about Lois?
Good afternoon. I'm Lois Moorcroft. I have the great pleasure of working with my friend Anne and a number of amazing, wonderful Kaska women in justice projects of various sorts, and really pleased to be here this afternoon. I'm hoping we might see, as Amanda said, a couple of the uncles join as well, but I think they were busy today. So I'm looking forward to hearing more about what the stories that are going to come out, and want to also encourage people to look at the Yukon Environmental and Socioeconomic Assessment Board project that will destroy caribou habitat, and later I'll paste in the chat a link to that. Thank you.
Thanks, Lois. I think we got Naomi too. Oh, you thought you were getting out of it. You did.
Yeah, I snuck in there. I wasn't sure if my video was showing up. Hi, everyone. My name's Naomi. I work with Beringia Community Planning. I'm on the unceded territories of the Squamish First Nation. It's been such an honor getting to work and support Laws and Anne and so many amazing, strong Kaska women over the past few years. So my work has been mostly focused on doing the evaluation of projects and helping get some funding going and flowing. And actually, I'm a graduate of OISE and the MEd program. So it's kind of nice to be back and join this group today too.
Thanks, Naomi. It's partly Naomi's fault that I got here too. She was the one that was like, go do this thing, check it out, it's going to be good. Now here I am. So thanks for that. I think that that's all that, unless Karla's come back, I think that's everybody has introduced themselves from the advocates group. So I see that there's a lot of people with their cameras off, and I guess the way that these kind of have gone in the past is that we've just, we've have the ability to have a visit and everybody gets to eavesdrop on our gossip. So I guess I'll maybe start by asking, Deneke duye anal konder queender. How you say, tell me a story in Dena?
And
It's dog in
the
Chishu.
Or Stugunditch, yeah.
A stickity ditch.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then your turn. Go. You're gonna tell me a story then?
Adada Gudenda. You want a good Gudenda Metzi?
Yeah, it's a good stuff.
Naka Gunias Guteas Suganas in Diga Dalgunditch.
Then they go Kuskani, eh?
Yeah.
As a Kaska child, when I was growing up, storytelling was always important to us. It was our school. You seen Mary, my cousin. Her dad was my mother's oldest brother. He was the storyteller in our family. So when we were small, it's just like going to school, but it's oral. We didn't have papers or pen. So we all. It's unlike going to class in school. We worked for our stories. Even the youngest child used to pack water for uncle. We got them wood. We set brush for them. We made sure they had something to eat. And we gathered and they taught us a lot about the land, about our history, our lesson, our history, our legends, the land we traveled on, the different nations that were around us, like the Totina, the Tlinkits, and Teltans. You know, so we knew we had neighbors, but most of the time we grew up alone. We traveled and we traveled with dog team in the winter, and we as a child, I think all children had their own snowshoes. We had a lot of fun, and people think we didn't have fun at all. They think we were poor, starving Indians out in the bush somewhere. That's the way I learned it in Lower Post, anyways. And that we were pagans, but there was in our ways, we were taught about God. We were taught about God, how He created the world for us, and how we need to respect the land we live on. And not only that, respect the waters and the fires and the air we breathe, the trees that are grown out on the land. My grandmother made sure that we never pulled any flowers or destroy anything for if we have no use for it. We can't break a branch, we can't do anything. So it was pretty respectful way we were brought up. And that's what I've been trying to teach my grandchildren. I just want to share one story about my granddaughter that just passed. We went up to the mountain when she was 4 years old. She walked all the way up from the river. And when we get to the end, she was so tired. She said, "I'm so tired, Dad, pack me." And her dad had all her candies, her sweets, and blankets, and her clothes, so he couldn't pack her. "We're almost there, baby. We're almost there." He said, once we reached the top, she forgot her pain. She forgot everything. She was just out running around all over the mountains. And the next day, there was a whole group of us. There was Rose and her family, her mother and father. The only one that stayed down by the lake was my dad, and my youngest boy, Randy, stayed with him. The rest of us, all of us went in the mountains. And I talked to, she wanted to pull some flowers, and I told her, "No, don't pull flowers, don't pull those. They're there for a reason." I told her, "Do not step on it, do not break it. it's just a wrong thing to say to a 4-year-old kid. Because when we were walking, she made sure I didn't step on any flower. Everybody left us behind. They went over the mountains. We were the last one to go over. She watched where I stepped. There was no fear. You know, when you're out in the bush, why respect is so important when you're out in the bush? Because everything knows you. The animals know you. I've never feared anything when I'm on our land. Even the grizzlies, the bears, the wolves, everything. I talk to them. Even when I'm alone, I see them, I just tell them which way to go, and us, we're going our own way. They listen too. That's what happens when you learn to respect everything on land. So we had a really wonderful life, and Francis Lake was the most important part of our upbringing. My brother Jack, when you talk about him, he was born in Francis Lake, and he was born on the west side, and there's a trail going over from Finnison Creek turnoff. My grandparents were living there. My grandmother, of course, she wanted to go to the store, and they had to go quite a ways, so they had to go overland, cross that, and you know that one single mountain across the river, across the lake. You had to go over that way because the trail goes over, and it's closer to the store when you would do that. And my auntie Lena, when she was pretty young, she stayed home with Grandpa. And even how far across the lake, they were coming across the lake, and he said, look, he tell Auntie, look, your grandma's so crazy. He's coming back across the lake, packing a baby. And she said, I didn't know what he was talking about. I look, he said, I see Mom walking across the lake, and he said, see her sister Mary coming behind her. Yeah, that Jack was born before. They almost made it to where my grandparents were, but couldn't wait that long. So he was born just right straight across from where they were. So I know where Jack was born. So we're just living in a land where there's a lot of our history there. Down at the old post, you know, you see a lot of writing that Europeans write about all those Hudson's Bay stores were built by the non-natives. You see the houses by the graveyard that was built by Hudson's Bay. They weren't. They were built by Fred Magan and his family and his boys, and Grandpa Peter and his boys, and John, and old Caesar and his dad. Even Uncle Fritz and them used to stay up there, and they were those houses were built there, and they were there before even those Europeans came. The only reason why they came there that the second time around was when the World War II happened, and they needed to build a tower there. So that's what happened. That's how they came to be. But people treated them really well. But it, you know, reading history, it didn't sound like that. You know, the people were pagans. They didn't believe in anything, and that's what gets me really mad too sometimes. But that's a little part of history. I know of Francis Lake. I know where some people are buried. My Auntie Phoebe is buried up there. My brother Joseph and my brother Edward, they're all buried up there, you know. And now trying to bring some of our family home. So my sister Maggie's buried up there, Jean, and my nephews are buried up there, my brother Thompson, you know. and Charlie, they're all coming home. So I really don't know what else to say. I know where you could hunt for or fish for graylands. I know where you could go if you want pike or you want trout or whitefish. We've been spending over more than 50 years up there, and I raised up all my kids there.
Mm.
So it's a wonderful, beautiful land.
Mm. Thank
It
you,
gives us
daughter.
it gives us a lot of peace, that place.
Mhm. Thank you.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the kind of story you want
Yeah,
to hear, but that's
that's
what I am
really
at.
good. Good tag, good dog, good ditch, yeah.
Mhm.
So we're very really happy that we have you on the Zoom, all of you. You're
Mhm.
strangers to us. However, I feel our souls can connect and
Mhm.
are connected. And I was saying to Amanda a while ago, we've had some issues we're facing, and I was saying we need a bigger platform because oftentimes living in the north, we're very isolated and we're very small. And when these big companies, they can, it's like a David and Goliath issue.
Yeah.
Because they come in and want to destroy our land.
Mhm.
And we have a company in our backyard right now. It's the BMC mine.
Mhm.
And they're going to disrupt our way of life. They're wanting to build a mine right on the caribou calving grounds.
It's
And
crazy.
they will destroy our water, our drinking water,
Yes.
and our
They-
way of life. And we're really scared of that. And right now, we have a process in the Yukon that's legislated it's called the Yes Up process.
Mhm.
So they've reviewed the project, and it has to go through this process where the First Nations submits and is consulted and submits their arguments. And we've been pushing back against this mine for the last 2 years. So through the Yes Up process, simultaneously, we've been writing letters to Yes Up, putting in our opinion. We've held meetings here locally and in Ross River. The problem comes from, it stems from us trying to correct what Canada has done wrong. So it stems from colonization and genocide, where the children were stolen and uprooted and taken to the prison camps they called residential schools. And also they uprooted our people because our people were nomadic people and lived all throughout the territory. And we lived in different communities. We had our communities, but traveled all over. But we lived in Pelly Banks area, the Ross River area, and Francis Lake area. The Kaska territory, I think, is about 97,000 square miles. It's pretty big. We encompass a whole pretty southeast Yukon, covering BC and Yukon, and it's all unsurrendered territory. But it's always a David and Goliath with us trying to protect our lands. So that's the reason why we need allies. We need social justice advocates, human rights advocates to join us in protecting our land, because we often feel alone. And you know, Canada tried to kill the matriarch because that's our system is based on a natural lineal system. That's why we're saying we're clan, we follow our mother's line.
Yeah.
But Canada, through the Indian Act, has tried to eliminate the matriarch. And it's been pretty patriotic, you know, with our governance. But so we've been resisting and opposing development, especially this BMC mine, because of what's going to do to our caribou. Yeah. So it's the reason why I wanted to share with you our story and our livelihood. And, you know, when First Nations, when our water is destroyed, you know, you see across Canada, First Nations that don't have proper drinking water. We're lucky we're in our backyard. Our water is pure, you know, and they want to destroy that. And if we start, we'll be the next to yell, we need proper good drinking water. And we don't want to reach that state. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're really happy you come and listen to us. Hi, Siku.
It was Siku's birthday yesterday, so this is her Zoom party.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Siku.
Birthday.
And
Yeah.
I think it would just also be helpful to speak to the resistance that of the women and the children that has been occurring all along. Like, this resistance hasn't just started. This resistance has been occurring all along.
Yeah, we've been resisting since they stole us and sent us to prison camp.
Yes.
Our resistance started at a very young age.
Speak of the resistance of the children.
It doesn't matter how many times they strapped us, we kept going.
Yeah.
You know, we kept fighting.
Yeah.
If my grandmother saw me doing that, she would have had a fit. But she was a strong woman, and you know, she always spoke on the woman's rights, even back then, you know. All the women
talk about our
supported
grandmother.
each
Our grandmother was the trailblazer in women's equality here, because back in Leda and I are sisters. Back in the day, our grandmother, it was way back when hand games, we have a tournament here, it's called hand games. So you can Google hand games tournaments and you'll see what I'm talking about. But it used to be primarily men. It was a man's game until our grandma got involved. And so it's where two teams play off against each other, and usually what they had was one team, if you lost, you would pay the other team. So my mom told me stories about how grandpa used to go trapping and get all these furs, and grandma Maggie, Marcia, would go play hand games with the furs and lose them all to the other side. And who's on the other side? Her son, David. So she was the one that opened the door, because today women play and they ain't not removing us.
Yes.
Yeah.
When I first started hand games, I think I was 12 years old or 11 years old. I was invited by the elders, the men's. So I was the only girl playing with them. I guess they must have seen how I would play, I guess. I'm not sure, but it was an honor for me they do that. So it was fun. Then the other women, all the women and the girls, everything played. It's so much fun. I just miss the hand games because it brings people together from different communities. Everything stopped when COVID happened. So it's pretty hard. But it's not going to be like that forever.
No, it's not.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we could ask the young advocates if they want to say something. Katelyn, Jodi, Karla, and Charlene.
Well, you're just rowdy today. Hola.
Howdy.
So when you hear Auntie Anne and Auntie Leda talk about Tucho, and they talk about, you know, how important the land is, what is that bringing up for you younger advocates? Why is that important to you now?
For me, for the importance for me, well, when I become an elder, I want clean water too as well. And then, you know, I'm an auntie to so many. And to know that there's a $1 million company or $1 billion company that wants to come in and destroy everything, basically, like everything, like our water, like, you know, our caribou and stuff, like the importance in my auntie's faces, you know, it touches my heart because my aunties learned all these things from my elders that I've never got a chance to meet, but you know, I really believe in where they're coming from because this is who we are, you know, and the land is life, you know, because like one day, like I want to go back and also learn more things. Like I've learned stuff on the way, but there's a lot more for me to learn, but I just like also worried about the generation after me. And then, because, you know, Kaska Dene, you know, like they're not going to stop having, you know, children. There's babies that are going to be ready to be born, and we have to them like a life cycle, you know, earth that keeps us together, you know, and then we have to keep her together because we can't have her falling and then we all fall, you know, and it's really like awakening, like knowing that these people are here, like they want to come here to destroy like many years of ancestral life on the land. And I just, to be honest, if they did that, then I would have no soul. Like my soul would die with the land, to be honest. You know, because where is my soul gonna get water from? Where's my body gonna get berries? Like, you know, are our kids gonna eat contaminated fish? You know, like gotta think about like, you know, there's so much diseases, you know, you don't know if these things cause cancers, and like we know it does, it cause cancer, probably even deformity in the future, because you know, I've seen water, like Auntie Anne said, like there's other communities in Canada that can't even have drinking water, and the water that they bathe in is like gives them sores and stuff. We can't have that. Like that's just, I don't know how to say this. It's just insane. Like it's like seriously insanity. Like you want to destroy land that people could survive on. Like, and our ancestors survived it, and we're all still here, like hundreds of years later, you know, and I'm proud of my ancestors and my aunties and all my uncles and stuff for being trailblazers, because to be honest, I didn't know like a whole lot of things, right? But you know, like addiction does take over our communities, and that's what worries me as well, is that I want to see all my people like, you know, get sick because of this, you know, like there's so much happening that we have to already look at, and then we have to worry about our land, and it's just, you know, and it's great to be here right now so I can voice a little bit of what I would like to say. Yeah,
Thank you, Jodi.
you're welcome.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Katelyn, you want to add?
Yeah, like a lot of what Jodi said is like how I feel about it too. And like I noticed that I started to be more concerned once I had my daughter, because she became like my main concern. And if they come in here, like the way I grew up was out on the land and stuff. Like I was able to drink from creeks all the time. And like, is she going to be able to do that? Like, it makes me worry about stuff like that. And like, my dad, like he taught me so much about being out on the land. And like, so same with my grandma and like all my aunties and stuff. Like I learned a lot growing up, and it just makes me sad to think about like my daughter not being able to have that same childhood, and like not having the natural resources affect, like because of this company like trying to come in and stuff. It's just wrecking like my entire like homeland. And it's really sad to think that they want to do this. Like it's pretty upsetting. Yeah. But yeah, that's all I have to say about that. So Karla.
Karla, thank you,
Thank you.
Katelyn. Thank you. Charlene?
Thank you, Katelyn and Jodi. I just want to say what a joy it is to be here today, and how wonderful it is to see everybody interested in the Kaska land. I mean, it's such a beautiful place to be, and it really brings me a lot of joy, because like Katelyn said, and Jodi, like, you know, we don't think of ourselves in our own generation. We think about the next generation and the next, like, how is that going to affect them? Like, I try to make all my decisions based on how is it going to benefit my children? How is it going to benefit the people around me? So it's really nice to see everybody else here and interested in what we have to say. And I'm very touched. Thank you.
Karla. Sugasan la. Karla?
I think Karla got kicked off earlier. Oh, no, she's there.
Hello, Karla. Okay.
She's shy, maybe.
Does anybody have any questions, Amanda?
Yeah, I mean, we can open the floor for questions.
Sure.
If everybody feels complete with their sharing. Does anybody that's joining us from Zoomlandia have any questions that they want to chime in about? Siku.
I'm just wondering, like, why any of this even has to be up for conversation when it's so clear that these are like, they're such fundamental human rights. And like, why is it even on the table? Why are you even having to have this fight when your land is unceded? Like, why? What happens when you bring that conversation to the YESA process or any other place? Like, it's kind of just, I find that the conversations, it kind of automatically assumes that you have to have this, like you have to defend your position, or you have to go through some kind of process or garner wider support. But like, how does Canada answer to the fact that they don't even have the right, like this company does not even have the right to be in your territory in the first place?
It's a really great question, Siku.
Yeah, the system the system is flawed right from the get-go, because in the Yukon, there's 14 First Nations. So Canada embarked on the land claims process, treaty process in 1973 in the Yukon Territory. And then they, on a rolling basis, as First Nations negotiated their agreements, and then they negotiated, each First Nations negotiated an agreement and spelled out how their lands were, some lands belong, which land were their lands, and what control they have over these lands. And they also have self-governing agreements. The Kaska, 2 Kaska communities and White River First Nations have not entered into these agreements. So in spite of that, it's interesting that Canada devolved the lands to the Yukon Territory without settling with Kaska communities. So it really is unfair that they, the Yukon has, in the UFA, there's the yes up process, and yes up is legislated in the Yukon Territory, and how projects would be handled and how projects would go through a process. However, our argument as Kaska Dene is that we're not part of your yes up process because we have not settled. And we have rejected. We have rejected their framework. So oftentimes we, Kaska Dene, we get tromped on. So like this PMC, because the Yukon government wants it bad. And it was Canada actually that helped to stop it, because YesUp had made its recommendation, but Canada came in and sent a letter to YesUp that really stopped it, and then YesUp was forced to go ask for more comments. So yeah.
Ed.D, hello.
Oh, there's Karla. You're not shy anymore?
Hello.
I think she just got in.
No, she's not. Hi, Karla.
Hi. So I've been in here. I don't know if you guys can hear me, but I just wanted to, first, my name's Karla Ed.D. I'm from Lower Post, which is one of the parts of the Kaska Nation. Our territory up here in the Yukon straddles the Yukon and BC border, and I'm on the BC side of it, is where my hometown is. We're talking about our land and what it means to us to stop these companies coming and raping our land again. I just wanted to share a little bit of the history of the Yukon for those of you that don't know. So as I hear it from my grandparents and our elders here, that they've seen lots of changes in their lifetime, and even since they were little kids. I think the ways we used to travel and hunt and stuff like that, live off of the land. The animals and the plants and medicines was our way of life. And I remember hearing them talking about it when the first, the first people came here, like, well, they say white people, but nowadays we don't use those terms anymore. But they said that they came here, then they seen the fur trade, and then the gold rush came in, then the Alaska Highway came in, so all the soldiers came, boats were running up and down the rivers, and the mining and oil stuff started, and now that's what we're still at. And I just think that more people that can hear how important this land is to us, the more it could be out there. Just like we're not the only ones on Mother Earth that's fighting and standing up for Mother Earth. They call it, I think, something along the Red Nations or something like that. But I hear about it that our brothers and sisters in the United States and New Zealand and all over the place are land protectors because the land is what sustains them too. And I just wanted to say thank you for listening, and whoever you can tell them that it's not right. And anyways, like the girl said about our children, I'm a mother too, and we're worried about what our children are going to eat and what water they're going to drink and how mining is going to affect our communities with the populations and what kind of people it's going to bring into our territories. As our animals going to be able to live healthy off the land, because our elders tell us here that we're so closely connected to the animals. They're like brothers and sisters to us. Everything has a life, like Auntie Leda said, and that in our way we respect all that. It's important to us, our land, who we are as Dene people, and we stand together in this thing, because in this, I guess you could say, a protest or however you want to word it, but all of our people from all of our Kaska Nation is the biggest land. I guess if they say land claim, I don't know how they say it, but we're not in land claims yet, but we have the biggest territory in the Kaska people, and we also have the biggest population of Dene in the Yukon, and those 13 First Nations that Anne was talking about. And so I just think the more support that we have in stopping these mines that are trying to come in, because currently I know of 27 mines that have already been on our territory, Kaska traditional territory, and I don't think we should even see one more. I don't think we need to make it 30 or whatever, because the messes that they've already made in Ross River and Faro, even out here in Good Hope Lake area, they never even cleaned it up yet. They buried everything in the land. And yeah, our land, our traditional territory is who we are. And I just wanted to share that. Kula.
Thank you, Karla. You know, Anna Luisa, she put a question in the chat, and she said that she's new to Canada, and so she's grateful for listening, and she wants to know how we here in this room can help advocate against BMC. Does anybody have any suggestions?
Yes.
We could have
Of course you do. That was not even a question.
Yes, you can, you know, I think BMC is registered on the Toronto Stock Exchange, and you know, I always say the best way to get to the heart of these companies is through their stocks. You know, yeah, and you can help with. There's Lois posted the Yes Up link. You can write letters there. Yeah, any way you can help. You can stop the train.
There's supposed to be a train, eh?
Yeah.
That's right. Building a train.
Our Mohawks brothers stopped the train. Yeah, any way that you can help, for sure.
Yeah, I just posted the link again too. Sorry, Auntie Leda.
I know there's a lot of people that have settled their claims already. There's a lot of them, and kept telling us, do not settle your land claims. They made a big mistake, they say. And we were trying to tell them, don't do it. There was over 30 people that were up in Dawson. Was it Dawson, Ann? When you guys walk out on a meeting?
Yeah.
So, you know, there was a lot of anger from other people, but they did it. And I feel so proud of my brother Hammond and my sisters, Ann, Rose, all of them, and our elders that were there. You know, they've been trying to get a hold of our land because we are on the richest land base in the Yukon. It's southeast Yukon. That's our Kaska land.
You know what
I often said that we could have been the richest native people in the Yukon, but it's not because of that we live here. We live here because this is the most beautiful place on earth. And our elders taught us to be respectful and to keep the land clean. One time I was saying and you read in the books, they say, you know, there's nobody absolutely lived on the Yukon because it was so clean and so pristine. And then because they never knew our elders and how we were raised up. They're just, they didn't think we had the values, I guess. We've been living here for centuries and keeping the land and the waters clean. Not very long ago, I had my sister-in-law's father and Olson Wolftail. He always talked to me before he passed. He told me, don't drink the water around here. It was just a few years before he passed, and just the year he passed too, he reminded me, don't drink the water around here. Go out, get the waters from the mountains, he said. That's going to keep you clean and safe. And right now they have water deliveries and everything. How safe is that? How safe is that water for our kids? So we go up, right now we go over 100 miles to get our water up the highway to Young Creek, or we go up past Dollywarden Lake. There's a creek, Mountain Creek, that comes out that's so pure. And then on that and Campbell Highway, we go past and the Wolverine mine turnoff. There's a creek coming down, they call it Light Creek. That gets water there all the time. And that's where we get our water from. You know, and pretty soon we're going to have no clean water. It's pretty awful. A lot of our people are getting cancer. We haven't been, like I was saying before, we haven't been out on our own lake for the past 2 years. I haven't been on a boat because my husband's got cancer. And it's just crazy way of living, and just like the hospitals are our home now. Every 2 weeks we have to travel to Whitehorse for his chemo. No, it's just, I don't know. We can't keep up with that. And I worry about the young people. I really worry about the young people because of all this alcohol and drugs. It's so bad. You know, these young people have a lot to live for.
Thank you for sharing, Auntie Leda. It means so much. So grateful for you and sharing all of your knowledge with us. It's really grounding to be reminded that everything comes from the land, even the cell phone in your hand, you know, and without it, we don't get to exist.
Yeah, I experienced a lot of things on our land that is very spiritual. I remember when one of our elders go, they come back through the wind and let you know they're leaving. It happens. The water too, you know. We've been on the lake for over almost 60 years. We never were, well, maybe foolishness on our part, but we don't use life jackets or anything. They just pray and go. Have respect for the waters, have respect for the fire. The fire speak to you, listen, because they do speak. I know that's how our elders lived, you know, they just listen to everything. Everything talks to you. You think animals don't understand you? Talk to them. Especially Dene, like the young Dene girls right here. Talk to them, learn your language, talk to them in Dene. They hear you. Just not very long ago, I was reminded that one of our elders, like Grandma Tilly Smith, she said, she really worried about our kids not learning the language. She said, when they meet God, what they're going to tell them? God's going to talk to them in our own language he gave us. How many of them going to understand? Made me think a lot, so I've been trying really hard to work on the language to make sure it's I work with Pat Moore, he's our linguist, and I work with Martina, she writes, and Jocelyn too does the writing. You know, we need to get more people involved with our language writing and our preserving of our ways, you know. We really need that. And one thing too about, you know, I feel really proud of these young girls that have babies, because my dad told me the last time I spoke with him, it was in 2004, 2007, my dad passed away. He said, don't cry. He said, don't cry for me. He said, look at your children. Look at yourself. I'm living within you and I'm living within my grandchildren. I'm still alive. As long as your children have children, I'm alive. So, you know, it may sound strange, but it's true. And look at my granddaughter that just passed. She's got 2 kids. She's still alive through them. So it's a blessing. It's a blessing.
Thank you, Adada.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. So we're going to wrap up the day.
Okay.
It's 3 o'clock and we're ending our session for the day. And I just really want to thank everybody. Thank you, Amanda, for facilitating, making this happen for everybody.
Thanks for coming, everybody. It's very exciting.
Yeah, so hopefully next time we'll have give opportunity for your guests to maybe ask questions if they want to come back at a future date and think about what we said and maybe ask us some questions. And you can always send us a message through Amanda. Yeah, so I just want to say thank you for being a part of this. And thank you, Shelly, for Shelly's leaving our advocacy training for this week, and because Alan will be here tomorrow. Alan will be facilitating, right?
So Alan's in tomorrow. Yeah.
Well, thank you,
everyone. Take care, Leda. Good to see you today.
Thank you.
Yeah, and give my best to Mary.
Take care, everybody.
So we're back at 9 tomorrow for the training. Thank you, everybody.
Bye, Tassie.
And
cute.
and